In this video, I will be loosely explaining Limbo and Inside. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The primary character in Limbo is a nameless boy in search of his sister, who awakens in the middle of a forest on the edge of hell, where he encounters a giant spider that tries to kill him. After using a trap to cut off the sharp points of half of the spider's legs, the spider retreats further into the forest, and the boy is allowed to pass. However, he is later caught in webs and spun into a cocoon. Shortly after freeing himself, he encounters a colony of other boys who actively tried to kill him with traps, poison, darts, and rocks. They later fall victim to the spider, whom the boy finally manages to kill after a short chase. At one point in his journey, he encounters a female character who he thinks might be his sister, but he is prevented from reaching her. The forest eventually gives way to a crumbling city environment, followed by industrial and flooded environments. On completion of the final puzzle, the boy is thrown through a pane of glass and is sent back to the beginning of the forest. After he wakes up, he walks a short distance until he encounters the female character again, who, upon his approach, stands up startled. At this point, the screen cuts to black abruptly, ending the game. Now let's get into the gameplay side of things. As is typical of most two-dimensional platforming games, the boy can run left and right, he can jump, climb onto short ledges, or climb up and down ladders or ropes. The player can also push and pull objects. The game's second half features mechanical puzzles and traps using machinery, electromagnetics, and gravity. Many of these traps are not apparent until triggered, often killing the boy. And with all that said, that about wraps up Limbo. I had a lot of fun playing this game when it first came out. It was initially what got me back into platforming and puzzle-like games. Even to this day, this game still holds up and has a beautiful aesthetic of its own. And that about wraps up this game. So, on to the next one. Inside. The story starts out with the boy sliding down an incline. While running through the forest, he encounters masked guards with flashlights, as well as vehicles with mounted spotlights and fierce guard dogs. He escapes the guards, then crosses a road where they have a block set up with more vehicles and guards, to a farm where parasitic worms cause pigs to run rampant. The boy uses the farm animals and equipment to escape to a seamlessly abandoned city where lines of zombie-like people are moved through mind control. Beyond the city is a factory of flooded rooms, a shockwave atrium, and a laboratory environment where scientists performed underwater experiments on bodies. While traversing some of the areas, the boy uses a mind control helmet to control some of the zombies he encounters. The boy comes across an underwater siren-like creature that attaches a device to him, allowing him to breathe underwater. Continuing through the office and the laboratories, the boy sees scientists observing a spherical chamber. The boy enters the chamber and discovers the huddle, a monstrous mass of conjoined bodies. After disconnecting the huddle's restraints, the boy is pulled into it. The huddle then escapes confinement, crashing through offices and killing the scientist in its path. The scientists trap the huddle in another tank, but the huddle escapes again and breaks through a wooden wall. It rolls down a forest hill and comes to a stop at a grassy coastline bathed in light. Now as for the alternate ending, if the player deactivated the hidden light orbs in the various bunkers, the boy returns to one of the bunkers and gains access to a new area. He reaches an area that includes a bank of computers and a mind control helmet powered by a nearby socket. The boy pulls the plug from the socket and suddenly takes the same stance as the zombies. And that about wraps up the story, so let's get into the gameplay. A lot of the gameplay is similar of that of Limbo, but I'll still go over the gameplay mechanics. The player controls the boy, who walks, runs, swings, climbs, and uses objects to overcome obstacles to progress in the game. The new feature is the mind control helmet, which allows the player to control bodies in order to complete puzzles to progress further in the game. And that about wraps up these two games. If you have a game series you'd like to see me loosely explain, please feel free to comment down below. And as always, I'll see y'all in the next one.